This is a resume review of a data engineer. The only thing they said is they are struggling to get their first time interview, which makes sense. And they have a 151 application to interview ratio, which is not good. Ideally, we want way less than that. Way less than that. So, what we're going to be looking for as a data engineer is all this stuff. That's a lot of stuff. So we're looking for Python, Rust, Scala. If some of them were a little more lax on the languages, but I saw Python in like a couple, so I think it would be okay if you maybe had another language. Data, just the word data, seriously. Algorithm, system design, SDLC, SQL, big data, such as Spark, cloud. Any cloud will do. I saw some that wanted Azure, some that wanted GCP, and others that wanted AWS. ETL, BI tools such as Microsoft BI, Tableau, and Looker. I don't like the word looker. It sounds like a threat for some reason. And primarily the ability to manage and communicate data warehouse plans to non-technical people. This is huge. If you are going to have a very technical job, that's going to be a major one, is explaining the technical stuff to people like me. So, let's see what they have, which they probably don't have this since they're having such an issue. So, MS quantitative methods, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I don't care about anything here. Modeling, capture, API. Okay, probably. Okay, there's nothing here. You said specifically data engineer. That is what you said. This is quantitative. I need to look up to make sure I even got the right resume. Is this the right resume? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, it is. So, that's not good. Your very first job and part of your education. Wait, is this all your education? Oh, this is all your education, not even the job. Jeez Louise. Okay. So first off, your formatting's off. Is your education should be no more than 3 lines max, maybe 2, ideally. This is way too long as education. And there's also nothing here I would actually care about for specifically data engineer. I don't see anything there. Develop poison? Whatever. Nothing here. HTML, SQL. Okay, so this is why this is not good. This entire thing, this takes up most of your resume. I only found SQL. And even then, it's not under a job, but this one could pass. So, backend developer, publish on and C++ language, API. API could be one, but it's not a major one. PySpark and SQL. There's literally nothing here that would imply that you're a data engineer to somebody who is specifically non-technical. I want to be clear here. Maybe other data engineers can look at this and go, oh yeah, obviously, but you're not. Your first person that views your resume is non-technical. So this entire resume from formatting to bullet points is bad, and you need to completely redo it. I'm going to have to pull up my resume template. So template wise, I want it to be like this. Your education at church should be no longer than 3 lines, maybe 4, but really try to keep it to 3 max. And then I need actual stuff that is related to data engineering, and not stuff that implies you've done data engineering, stuff that shows that you have done the data engineering, because this shows back-end dev, this goes quantitative and actuarial. This shows nothing of here, and these are what they're going to be looking for. At least in the United States, I don't know the London market, but at least in the United States, if you're looking to be a data engineer, this is what you need. And I don't see any of that except for the word SQL and no, just SQL. Yeah, that's the only thing I see here is SQL. So, oh look, here at the very bottom, you have Python, R, Excel. Even these are not the right keywords except for Spark. Yeah, none of this would fly. You need to completely redo all of this in the bullet points, both formatting. So I don't want to start this on a mean note, but I want you to be prepared, because this is why you have a ratio of 150 applications to 1 or none interviews, is the bullet points and the formatting are bad. So if anybody else wants resume reviews, feel free to send them in to me. I'm here to help. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And, if you need more help, stop by my live stream. That is, the information is in the stuff below. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a technical product manager. So there's a ton of keywords here, I'll be honest, but we're not necessarily going to be looking for all of them. We're kind of going to bundle them up. So you can see them all here. There's a lot. In fact, some of them are even below that. The big ones are essentially going to be how many products you were working on, the size of that, who you interacted with. So, like, was it the technical team? Was it the stakeholders? Was it the customers? And how you solved problems specifically with people, tools, and tech. Some of the actual keywords are going to be like multitasking. I don't think triage is one. Actually, now that I think about it, B2B, SaaS, Jira, Scrum, API. A lot of it required API. I don't know why specifically API. AI if you haven't, and then development lifecycle, roadmaps, planning, agile methodologies, and backlog management. So again, I don't want you to panic that you need everything here. The main principle to know is how you solved problems with people, tools, and tech. Right? So, again, the summary is not needed. This adds nothing to it. Growth product manager. Okay, so technical, big companies manage the squeakle pair streams of work. Okay, this is so broad that it doesn't help. Short to long-term products. Again, I need to know how short-term, how long-term, along with budget. Define new KPIs, UX flows. Again, weirdly enough, I did not find KPIs a lot. I don't think it's a bad thing to include, but I don't know if that's actually a keyword, at least from the ones I've seen. Analytical dashboards, internal customer behavior. This is okay. Partner with UX, running customer surveys, interviews, gaining subject feedback. Oh, also, sorry, the person had a 150-to-1 ratio, so this is not getting them interviews. And let me just triple check that real quick. Yeah, so they have a 150 application to 1 interview ratio. So a one-step flow, which again, these are not what I'd be looking for. Okay, product manager, startups, again, done. See, again, you're too vague, right? You're telling me what, which is more important for IC roles. For non-IC roles and manager roles and roles like this, you really want to tell me how you did this. The how you did it is arguably more important than the what it actually was. So, oh, my dog came in. Hello, bear. So, yeah, there's basically nothing here I want. And this is almost a good sentence. And again, this is why people need to stop bolding, because these are none of the things that I'd want. In fact, there could be things on that list right up here that I missed because of the bolding. So, SaaS, AI, okay, this should, again, be in the bullet points. For, God, this bolding makes it so hard to read. AI, AWS is solid, customer reporting, streamlining work. Again, not what I'm looking for. Indexing, no, don't care. I sound like a couple. So yeah, I'm going to stop looking down because there's no way a recruiter's going to go down that way. Your problem is you're not expanding how you did that. You're sort of focusing this like you are still a individual contributor. I need you to start thinking like a manager resume. And manager resumes are, more importantly, how you did that, right? So created alerts for indexing of AWS Open Search, reducing false positives. That's cool. But like, I need to know not just how you did it, but why you did it. So I don't think there's a reason this is not good. None of the keywords are here, and you don't tell me how. Your almost good sentence is this, which is directed work with remote team. But you didn't tell me what kind of work. You didn't tell me the volume of the work or the remote team, or did they interface with other customers. So nothing about this resume really works, which is why you're not getting any interviews. So I want you to be specific, and I want you to focus on these things. And you can even look at the technical product managers. Is a lot of them are going to ask you specifically how you solved a problem, why you solved it, what resources did you use, and I don't see any of that here. So this definitely would not pass, and the 1-to-50 ratio is showing it as well. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of a project manager. This is the second one this person sent in. This was the art teacher on episode, I forgot the episode number. So what we're going to be looking for again is PMP, CSM certs, customer, stakeholders, agile industry, number of team members, matrix cross-functional, number of projects, budgets, multitask, how you used resources, and how you solved problems. So project manager, let's see, educator with 5-year experience managing creative projects, transitioning to project management. Again, you do not need this Excel. I want people to stop bragging in their resumes, especially here. All you need to say is transitioning. In fact, you did the order wrong. You don't need the 5+. Just say transitioning to project management from education. All right, that's all I need. Just that basic, just that simple. You don't even necessarily need this bolded. It can just be very basic. This, while longer than 3, is fine. I don't know if you need your bachelor's if you have your master's, truthfully. Arts and education. Yeah, I don't think you need the bachelor's unless you're applying to like fashion places. So you can keep this in 3, and you'll just keep this. Right. So over 5 years, designed and implemented 40 plus art projects, owning each stage of the project life cycle, teaching 200 plus students annually, managing 7 class sections of the 36 students, ensuring projects met organization wide. Okay. So your first thing, I want to be clear. This is much better than it was, and this is written in a way I want it. The first thing I need, though, is to show how those art projects were sort of equivalent to a manager. I think you wrote it the right way. I just need a little bit, like, because was it just like finger painting, or was this like a large amount of stuff? So within 2 months, redesigned art curriculum for remote instruction during COVID pandemic. This is actually solid. Created unit and lesson plans, determined quality metrics, and implemented curriculum across 4 classes via Zoom. Improved digital literacy. Okay, yes, okay. I think you're trying to brag about some stuff. Which is, you did say, is it too verbose? And I think some of it is, yes. You're trying to brag. I know this is going to sound weird. I don't necessarily need you to brag. Sales is one of the places where I need people to brag, but in most other resumes, you don't really need a brag. You need to show what it is. And if you start bragging, it's going to sound weird. So... managed 2 large-scale 2-month art projects. No organization president, overseeing 15 to 20 users for each project. Executive collaborator, leading daily project sessions. And about team windows, course correction. Again, so you're trying to overcompensate with the experience and with the bragging, right? Like, I don't need to say, like, daily project check-ins and whatever is okay, right? But I don't need to know, like, course correct inefficiencies, aligned students to project goals. We can write this simpler, right? So I want to do instead manage 2 groups of X amount of art students where we did Y, which ended up being selected for the professional art gallery by identifying bottlenecks, course correcting, and aligning students to project goals, right? That kind of stuff. You're trying to be overly verbose in your language of bragging, and that's not what I really need. So with each project, created comprehension and planning documentation. See, again, you're saying, like, with each project, I just need you to say, and I need you to state it, created planning documentation on, like, Excel, Word, or whatever, which included scope, task requirements, and timelines by resource. So I actually think you stand a much better chance now, but we're going to need to fix this and fine-tune it. So spearheaded annual changes for leveraging parental fellowship, classroom behavioral needs, channel communication. Again, this is to, like, I don't care as much about the numbers. I care that you've done what I want, right? And what I want is that you've talked to the customers or stakeholders. In this case, would be probably parents or internal education admin. We don't really have team members or cross-functional, but I do have the number of projects you've done. You want to know how you use those resources and how you solved it, right? Like, and I know you're middle school transitioning to teach adults, which honestly makes sense. I used to be a substitute teacher, and, like, I've seen what teachers do. That's rough. Like, kids can be sometimes a lot harder to manage than adults. So, yeah, again, see, this one is good. It's just, I need to know what those trends were, right? Like, so you're trying a little too hard to make it a brag, and that's the biggest problem. But other than that, I think if we fine-tune it a little bit, you'll be much better situated. Now, because you are transitioning industries, you're still going to have a pretty tough ratio, but you're actually going to stand a chance now, because the people that move you forward, they say, okay, this is exactly what you are. You are a middle school teacher transitioning directly into corporate. I understand this is not direct corporate experience, but you do have related experience. Because with the other one you did, you'd get there and then you talk about the experience and you get rejected. This will give you a lot less false positives. So, basically, I need you to condense this a little bit. I need a little less bragging and more why you did stuff and some of the numbers and that kind of stuff. But we are in a much better state. So I hope that made sense. I know that was kind of tricky. Manager resumes are a little trickier to write with than just individual contributors, specifically because of how you need to write the bullet points. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of a data engineer. So I have actually updated the list of what we would need for keywords because I was like 90% correct, but I made it more legible and there were one or two things. So if you were still watching from the first one, data engineer, these are a little bit more accurate keywords, at least in Canada. This was a search specifically for Canada, so I'm starting it with that. So what we're looking for is Python, SQL, Cloud, data visualization, so BI, Tableau, Looker, ETL. We're looking for the word data. I know that's basic, but like, I want to see like data warehouse, data lake, data architecture, data analytics. The word data preceding as a prefix is what we want. Then I want big data, such as Spark. Spark was in a ton of them. So ideally Spark. Also, I do not need to double up on Cloud. We already had that. And then this is, again, primarily very important, ability to communicate complex topics to a non-technical person. This was huge. This was in a lot of them. And these are the bonus ones. These are nice to have, but again, they're not going to probably be a disqualifier, which is Databricks, Snowflake, Skibbity, Learn, Pandas, NumPy, XGBoost, and TensorFlow. I hate IT names. So, this person is in the chat right now, so after I review their resume, I'm going to help them out in how to fix it a little bit more, which is what you get when you come on my stream. So let's begin. Oh, also, I should actually check your ratio first. That's important. You have 100 to 1, which isn't great. Again, that's not good. I'd say like a D-. Again, that's like not the worst, but 100 to 1 is pretty bad. And you were wondering if you had a skills section, so no. Do not add a skills section for this. So, what we're looking for, design an implement scalable data lake architecture is good. Where were you when I was hunting for a data lake person? On AWS, build cloud-based database, that's fine, in Redshift. Again, so I think you said something about what Redshift is, which is, you actually did say this and I cannot find it. Redshift is the AWS version of Warehouse. Okay. Including Star and Snowflake. That's fine. Led data migrations to AWS. Okay. ETL, Python, SQL. Lambda. These are kind of what I'm looking for. Part of my issue, though, is it's good that you have more than one AWS. That's good. Part of what I'm missing, though, do we have big data? Because that was huge. Do we have big data? Again, they're not going to go down there. Do we have Spark? Okay, we do have Spark. That's good. So I think what you did is you overdid some of the keywords here, and we are missing some. So what I have is good is Python, I have SQL, we have Cloud, we have Spark, which is good, but I'm missing the sort of soft skills, right? Like your job as a data engineer is not just doing the tech stuff. And I there's a lot of times where people say, I'm going to be so good at tech that I'm never going to have to deal with another person again. And unfortunately, as a subject matter expert in tech, which a data engineer should be, you're going to have to deal with people more so than normal. We also have ETL, but there's a lot of superfluous stuff here, right? So this is fine, although it's formatted a little weird. Just put parentheses. And you don't need to add, like, AWS Lambda, Glue, and CloudWatch can probably be actually removed. We can check after this. So you have too much AWS. I know that sounds weird, but the AWS, like I want it to be in about 2 to 3 places, but AWS pops up. I don't know why it's not all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 times, right? 7 times in your first one. It's good that have it like 2 or 3, but don't have that much AWS. Because I really do need, and I don't think I'm seeing this any complex topics to non-technical people. So you sort of added a couple of other non-critical stuff, and you added too much AWS, which I think is part of the issue. So there's also too much here, and I think your formatting is a little off. I don't know. Is this 10.5 Arial? It may be, but I don't think so. Feels like it's not, but we'll see. CICD. So the thing is, you sort of over-engineered it, which is kind of typical. And we do have your bachelor's. That's good. Oh, that's also... This should not be bolded. I was wondering also why this was hard to read. This should not be bolded. This should be, like here, one line right here and italicized. There's a reason I have it italicized and in one line is it makes it easier to read this stuff. So, yeah, we have too many keywords and we're missing a couple, which is, again, primarily the how you use that stuff. So, will this pass? If it's a heavy AWS thing, yeah, but if they're looking more for somebody to explain this as like a subject matter expert or handle that kind of stuff, not really. So let me go work on, they're in chat, so let me go work with them. And then I'll go to the next resume. This is a resume review of a full stack software engineer. I don't know what a full saxophone engineer would be. So, their issue is they said it's about a 1:75 ratio, which isn't great. They're saying I have not been able to get it past the phone interview question. See, that's a little interesting to me because that implies it implies your resume is potentially not showing what they actually need, or alternatively, you're doing something that is giving off the impression that could reject you. But typically for HR screens, those are not real interviews. That is a topic I go over a lot on my Twitch, so my live stream. If I can answer you more there, that's just not a real easy YouTube topic. So if you come into my live stream, ask me that, I would be glad to answer. But essentially, what you want to is like, what are you looking for in a new job, or what made you decide to look for a new role? You need to say something that ensures that you're not insulting the previous company and implies that you will not leave the company you're applying to. So. But for a full stack, what we're looking for is TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, SQL, React, API, REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, and any extra languages such as Python, C, Java, or Git. Git is not a language, or maybe it is. I don't know. I just teach this stuff. I don't actually know the code itself. Coding is magic. So, new features for multiple AWS using Visual Basic, JavaScript, okay, MySQL. Participated in the formatting here is off. Participated in the entire development process from initial design to final testing. Nothing about that is, I don't have any keywords there. That sentence can be removed. Statically upgraded software. Again, this is not what I'm looking for. It's MySQL's good, but I need more than analyze existing software, maintain SQL stored processes. So again, I only have SQL and JavaScript. Yeah, also the formatting here is a little off, but I only have SQL and JavaScript. I need TypeScript, I need CSS, I need HTML, I need Node, I need Angular. And again, you don't necessarily have to have all of them, but I want more than just JavaScript and that. ASP.NET, I think, was a C# one, and that's not as common. Again, these are going to be the most common keywords. So... distributed work, okay, this is fine. I get why you have this here. That's okay. In fact, it's actually pretty good because it shows your experience and you stick with the same company for a while. Diploma, Bachelor of Science, what? Okay, so your formatting's off and first off, your formatting is way off. Your education should be up top. Because you got a diploma, but I don't know if this is important or not. But a math major is actually kind of beneficial. People do like that. Wait, what do you mean partial? Okay, I'm very confused. I don't understand this at all, and that's not good. You never want your recruiter to be not understand it. So I'm going to need you to tell me a little bit more about this because I don't understand any of why you wrote that. So this doesn't make sense to me. The formatting's off. Projects, again, ASP.NET, which is not a keyword I'm going to be looking for. Technology, ASP.NET, again, data tables. The reason you may be failing the HR one is you may read well enough for recruiters because they see SQL, they see JavaScript, they see full stack, and then you get to the actual interview and they pass that on to the manager, and the manager says, no, this is not what I want. This is not the type of coding I want. So your formatting is bad, and your bullet points are very, very anemic. There's barely anything here. These are what I want, right? These are the most important ones. Right here. Right here. These are important. Okay? This is what I want. This is a benefit and a bonus, but ideally, this is what I'm looking for, and I don't find this. So my guess of why you keep failing the HR interviews is not how you answer those questions, but when they talk about your experience and it shows to the manager says they don't need what you have, which is why we need to fix this. So the formatting needs to be fixed, and you need to rewrite these bullet points. Most all of them, truthfully. I mean, there's just nothing here. They're too vague. There's a bug. Sorry. Yeah, there's like a fly. Anyway, that signals the end of this review. Let's go to the next resume. So I need better bullet points and better formatting for this one to pass. This is a resume review of a software development intern. So this person has actually kind of okay for intern. It's not great, but it's like barely passing. They have an 89-to-1 ratio, which they got an offer, which is very good. And they're preparing for next fall, and they want to make sure their projects align with the keywords and stuff. And if they should cut down their professional experience, probably no. All right. So the first thing is your formatting is a little bit off. All right, not the worst off. This is going to take like 5 minutes to fix. Is there should be a space between these, right? So it's going to be here. There's a teeny little space right there. And then from work history, there's also a single space that needs to be here, which I actually messed up. This is double space. This is double space. It should be one space. So this needs to have a single space. This needs to have a single space. And you can see here there's a single space. So that's all. That'll take you like 5 minutes to fix. Otherwise, this is fine formatting. I just wanted to make sure that you caught that because it'll make it a lot easier to see. Yes, if it goes past a page, that's fine. It's really not a huge deal. People worry too much about pages. Again, the most important thing is the first half of your resume. So what we're going to be looking for as an engineer intern is basic knowledge of tech stack. So the library, software, SQL Cloud, ability to work well with others, you take direction and criticism. So utilized Ensemble. This is a system admin. Okay, so wait, are you doing software engineer or system admin? Okay, you did say software engineer. Yeah, I am going to need some keywords here. So this is good, right? Deployed a 15-page dynamic scalable web application using Kubernetes, Docker, WordPress, MySQL, HTML, and CSS. Good. Architected Linux nodes, AWS. I would prefer some basic stuff like the language. Again, I know this is not how they teach you in school, but at least from my experience in the corporate world, managers really care what language you know. So like really want to know if it's Python, if it's C#, if it's Java, that kind of thing. So at least for backend, I know front end can be a little bit different. Created. So yeah, I am missing sort of your backend language, and there's not much here. Really, but that's kind of because it's a system admin and you're really looking for software. So data science, let's see, Spearman, and then NumPy is good, Tableau is okay. Again, I'm missing kind of the basic tech stack. Like this is great, this is what I want to see. I would not remove your internships though, because internship experience is very much a win more kind of thing, and that the more you have, the better it looks to get other internships. Once you get one, it's easier to get more. So I would keep these, and I'd try to. This is also solid. Like I really like these keywords. So yeah, fix the formatting a little bit, and what's really kind of holding you back is this is not software engineer, so maybe either shrink this or alternatively just talk about how you specifically were able to work well with others and take direction and criticism in a single bullet point or two, and then focus, because this is really what I'd be looking for. Like this is a solid, fantastic one, which is worked in a team of 4 to develop a full stack AI image analysis application, determine disaster relays using Python, TypeScript, React, HTML, and CSS. That is perfect. So I kind of want the rest of them like that because I'm missing SQL, I'm missing the backend language, I'm missing cloud. Those are kind of the things I'm missing. It's not huge. So yeah, just fix those. Shouldn't take too long. Yeah, this was a quick one. I don't think there's going to be a ton of stuff that needs to be fixed. The dates are overlapping here, but it's an intern, so things can get a little wonky with the dates there. So, in summation, yes, you are missing some keywords, and your formatting is a little bit off. Not a ton off, but a little bit off. And once that's fixed, you should have a much better ratio. But even then, a 1 to 75 ratio for a internship application is like a C minus. It still passes. It's that rough out there because it's graded on a curve. So that's it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. If you all want to help me, that's how you do it. You like, comment, and subscribe. And stop by my Twitch channel Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST where I give this advice live. So let's go to the next video. Yes.